we're all hearing about ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, all the rest of them, Perplexity, and all the wonderful things they can do. I'm still struggling. Perhaps it's my prompt skills, but for example, images, humans still have 4 fingers, and I tried to get Grok to code the other day, and I gave up in rage after about, I don't know, an hour, where it couldn't just write a simple functioning bit of code. There's only about, I don't know, 50 lines. So I thought I'd try another angle. I thought I would ask Grok. So Grok's the main one I've been using. It's meant to be number one. It's meant to be a PhD in all things. So I'm very doubtful though. But like I say, perhaps it's the way I prompt it. So I thought I'd ask it to create a trading strategy, which I've done before. And all it does is the same old stuff. It obviously scans the web and then it returns. Sorry, interrupted. I don't know where I got to. Anyway, if you ask Grok about trading, like you say, you know, what's the best strategy? It really is an epic fail. It'll give you like moving averages, pairs trading, like technical analysis. I mean, and I guess that's because it's reading the web. So it kind of makes sense. It's just plucking out the most commonly touted rubbish, and then that's what it gives you. So I thought I'd take a different approach. I said to Grok, you can't give me a trading strategy that doesn't use a single known strategy. So it couldn't use technical, fundamental, value, nothing written about it. It had to be completely unique. And anyway, I'm going to just walk you through what it came up with. So here we go. I said, a challenge. You can't use any known trading strategy. You have to trade the US stock market with $100,000 with a unique strategy. Walk me through your solution. Now, this, what it came back with was not that great. Basically, it scanned X for visual sentiment analysis. So it looked at images and claimed them to either be positive, negative, or flat. And it was really disappointing because it literally came back with Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Google. Literally 5 components of the Mag 7. I mean, you know, if I asked anyone, give me 5 stocks, this would be the pick. So it was a really disappointing first try at this. And yeah, it says it gathered the image data from X. It then tried to rank it positive, negative, or neutral, and that's how it came back with these 5 stocks. So, and it did some kind of allocation here. Pretty disappointing as a first try. So I pasted in exactly the same question again, and weirdly, it actually threw up something a little bit interesting. Cosmic alignment allocation. Obviously, it had to be completely unique. So it went ahead with its scanning. It looked for stocks based on market buzz. So again, it went through X, which, you know, why not? Why not? Growth-orientated names, positive year-to-dates, performance leaders, capture emerging momentum without using traditional indicators. So using X, it came up with at least not the usual suspects. It came up with Hood, Oklo. I don't know if you know these names. Hood's a broker. Oklo is nuclear energy. PGY, I'm not actually sure what that does. ASTS is like a space company. MP has materials like it sources rare earth minerals, that kind of thing. Anyway, some really quite unique names here. Maybe not Palantir, that's less unique, and it does then go into Nvidia and AMD here, if you know these stocks. And then from here, it tried to narrow it down to the 5 standout performers with consistent mentions across sources, focusing on diverse sectors. And this I quite like. So it's almost like it gave this a bit of thought. Hood, so that's a fintech leader. Oklo, as we said, is a nuclear energy power play. ASTS, space. MP is rare earth materials, like I just mentioned. And HIMS, telehealth. So that's a nice diverse spread. Here's their year-to-dates. And then it's gone, okay, we've got our 5 stocks. How now do we split the 100,000? And this is, it even says, this is where the real uniqueness comes. So they've used a cosmic weight using astronomical data. Now, this is cool. And just before you make out like this is really bad, it's no more arbitrary than allocating on RSI or some other metric is maybe not market related, but at least they've based the position sizing on something. So it's linked Hood with the sun because it's a energy stock. Oklo, nuclear power, they've done with the moon because it's tidal and influential force. ASTS, they've linked to Mars. MP to Venus. HIMS to Jupiter. And then they've looked at the, I think it's like the degree at which they sit. So the RA. The RA is the right ascension position in degrees on the 17th of July, 2025. So they've given them the degrees and then they've totaled it and then given it a percentage. And the percentage is the weighting. So Hood gets 24, Oklo 3, ASTS 35%, MP 15%, and HIMS 20%. That takes up all the money. So they've then got the dollar price of the stock and then worked out how many shares of each. And that gives you 99,000 allocated between the 5 stocks. And you know what? This pick of stock, this Hood, Oklo, ASTS, MP, and HIMS, I like it. It's great. The allocation, I'm not that keen on Oklo at 3%. I feel that's, you got 24%, 35%, 15%, 20%. It's a shame that Oklo is so low, but, maybe in a year's time, that will be spot on. Anyway, that's how Grok thinks, because literally, if you go in and say, what's the best trading strategy? It literally replies with something like, moving average crossover, which we all know is trash. So I said, you cannot use any strategy. Think of something new or give me something new. And it's done it. And I even quite like this solution and even these stocks. So does X provide, people use this term alpha being like value. And I don't know, this isn't a bad shout, 5 stocks, why not? Positive, they've figured out an allocation, potentially something to work with. And then what I could do is at some point, maybe each month, you type in recalculate the allocation, and then that'll enable you to swing the weightings or even perform this screening. You could say, do it again, and then you could allocate from these 5 stocks to the next 5 stocks if these 5 didn't come up again. So you could even work with, or maybe this is what I'm going to do, I will, in a month's time, ask this on the same Grok thread, let's perform this calculation again, give me the next 5. And even the first solution it came up with, where it just gave you basically the Mag 5. Look, their final solution was literally just 4 stocks for 25 grand each. So maybe you could grab both systems and say, let's step forward 1 month, where are we at now? So if anything, this could give you ideas. The best thing about Grok, I find, is going down rabbit holes with it, because the start is very broad and you really need to press it on whys and explanations and to push it to really dive a bit deeper. So anyway, that's the first take. Those are the first 2 systems. So as I've mentioned, Hood, Oklo, ASTS, MP, and HIMS. And in the first iteration, it was Tesla, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Google. So not a bad shout. And we can step this forward next time. All right, if you're using Grok or any of the AI engines to help you trade or to give you ideas, I'd love to know what kind of prompt you're putting in, because that really seems to be the trick. The trick is the prompt. Like I mentioned, I've tried to get it to write some basic code for me to drop into the Pine script of TradingView, and it just epically failed. So I'm sure that's on me, not on Grok, but, well, I feel it's a 50-50. But that's what I've done with Grok, just to get some ideas. Let me know what you've done in the comments. All right, cheers.